guys. I have been attempting to make this message. I think this is the fourth time. This is fourth time's a charm, right? I even made a list of all the details of all the crazy things that have been happening within a very short period of time. Just by me using the affirmation, I astral travel. Amazing discoveries, amazing experiences, even a little bit scary, but amazing experiences that prove just stating the affirmation, I astral travel works. All right. I might have to channel my higher self in order to work through all this. I feel like trying to tell you all the details is like trying to work my way through a maze, and I keep getting stuck and I can't continue to talk. So I'm actually just going to close my eyes and relax. And then the first prompt I get, I'm going to tell you, okay? I'm going to tell you what that prompt is and then what the message is about it, okay? Hang in there. This message is going to blow your mind. I've had a lot of crazy experiences in a short period of time. Okay. So I'm tapping into my higher self. Okay, my higher self is wanting me to look at the first star, okay? And it says, I astral travel. So I'm going to pause. And she is asking me, how is that working for me so far? And I'm saying that it is working so well that I'm all wound up to tell you guys a message and I can't even spit it out. That's how well it's working. You simply say, I astral travel. Your life will freaking change. All right, let's see what my higher self says next. Okay, she says, what happened last night? Okay. A lot of things happened yesterday. I made a video yesterday. And I haven't shared it yet, but I will be sharing it today. And then I'll share this video probably in a couple days. That way I don't overwhelm you guys with all of my information. I'm spamming YouTube with Abbey normal videos. By the way, I posted all the October Zodiac energy readings if you want some more Abbey normal spam. It's freaking good stuff. It's actually really awesome messages for all the Zodiacs. Okay, energy work and wisdom that is life-changing. All right, so yesterday I made a message to tell you guys about an empowering astral dream that I had. And I was astral dreaming all night, and I felt like I was busy. I was doing things, going places all night, like I was flying and running and traveling and going places. And one of the most loudest parts of that dream is jumping out of a window and knowing that I can jump out this window, even a 20-foot tall building, 20-story building, I can jump out the window and land on my feet. And I felt so strong and so powerful. And I could run like a wild animal through very cold snow. And I could do that. It was amazing. But in that experience, which was just 2 nights ago, I had these visitors that looked like little gray aliens with pointy ears. Well, it turns out they weren't gray aliens, and they were Elvish beings. And I was talking to the Elvish being in the video that I made yesterday. I'll put a link in the description if you want to watch it. And so this Elvish being is complicated. He's not easy to translate. The way that he communicates, it doesn't flow very naturally. It's kind of like trying to translate air, which I'm used to translating air, but he's even more complicated than translating air. All right. So after I made this video, I was talking to Joe about that Elvish being, and Joe and I have been talking a lot about astral travel. And so Joe then journeyed into that Elvish being, channeled a message from him, something that we could learn from Joe's side of the story. This was just between Joe and I. It's not going to be on YouTube or anything. But this being was telling Joe some very interesting details about enlightenment, the astral plane, and then what he would define as the mirror dimension. So I I have defined the astral plane as that dimension that sometimes you can wake up in your room and it looks like your room, but it's not really your room. It's another place. It's like another dimension that you can wake up in, and it's scary. It's a scary place that you could wake up in. I define that as the astral plane. This Elvish being is saying it's better defined as the mirror dimension. So I'm going to be defining that place now as the mirror dimension. And then that Elvish being was telling Joe and I that what we do when we do journeys, we're projecting our consciousness throughout the astral plane, and then looking into every nook and cranny of the astral plane that we're called to go take a look at, and then bring that information back to clients or you guys in these videos. So that's traversing the astral plane, just by me sitting here projecting my consciousness and then telling you what the message is, okay? Like projecting my consciousness to this Elvish being and telling you what he's like and what he has to say. So my dream had some kind of astral experience to it, but this mirror dimension is something that I want to talk more about today, and something that I'm going to be exploring more, okay? As an affirmation as well. I'm going to pause for a minute. Okay, my higher self is saying, so after Joe did this journey, what happened next? So this journey Joe did was later in like around 9 o'clock or so, is when it got done. And I noticed that my head was starting to hurt, like a really bad headache, but it was worse than that. It felt like I'd been hit with a hammer in my face. Specifically on the left side, and my arm felt like it was like really stretched out and long and oversized. So these are the experiences that a psychically awakened person has, stuff that makes absolutely no sense. Anyway, I was in so much pain. It felt like my brain was going to explode. It wasn't a headache. It was some kind of energetic thing I was going through. And somehow it was triggering it. Talking about this mirror dimension was triggering this for me. So then Joe does a journey to get me straightened out. And a part of myself was trapped in a mirror. And I'd been trying to get out. I wasn't able to get out. And it was causing a lot of pain to my soul. There's so much more that's a bit of a mystery still. But after Joe did that journey to heal me, I fell asleep. And I had a crazy dream. It was a future dream, like a deja vu dream. Do you see how many weird details there are to this story? Okay. I'm going to pause for a minute before I tell you my deja vu dream. And I'm going to ask my higher self if I should say any other details about my relationship with mirrors before I tell you about the deja vu dream, which is like a mirror, all right? Because deja vu, isn't that kind of like a mirror? Okay. My higher self is saying nothing. So after I had this ordeal, I've been thinking about this astral travel, my astral dream. I've felt empowered all day yesterday. I got all these Zodiac energy readings done and posted. I felt like a freaking machine. Like I rule the world, I felt really good and empowered and just passionate and like high vibe. And then this journey with Joe and the Elvish guy triggered some kind of massive headache, rescuing my soul from some kind of mirror place. And then I pass out. And I wake up and I look out my window because I'm startled. There's this girl that's screaming at the top of her lungs, okay? And she's screaming at the top of her lungs, "Nobody would talk to me!" Like that like screaming as loud as anybody could possibly scream. Nobody would talk to me. She was screaming this. All the while the radio in the car is blaring like, "And she will be loved." Something like that song. You know what song I'm talking about. And there's a guy also talking loud trying to calm her down. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? And I suddenly became overcome with like a very fearful feeling. And then I just fell back asleep. Now, I wake up to a girl screaming at the top of her lungs, "No one would talk to me!" And I look out my window just a little bit, just exactly detail for detail for detail for detail. The event replayed itself. Completely 100% replayed itself for every single tiny little detail. I was so freaked out. It was the most freaky thing. Can you imagine having a dream that gets replayed detail for detail for detail for detail for detail? That sounds cool, right? It's actually freaky. It's totally freaky. And I was actually afraid to look at what time it was. I didn't know if there was going to be a weird, freaky thing about time. Like, I'd only been sleeping for 5 minutes or something. It'd only been 1 minute. And all this crazy stuff is going on. Well, it was 1:30 in the morning. So anyway, so Astral Travel is opening a gateway of experiences. A gateway of experiences. It's enhanced my dream state, which I never was much of a dreamer. I'm freaking having vivid dreams. Now I'm having empowering dreams where I'm jumping out windows and running like a wild animal through the snow. I'm having empowering dreams. Now I'm having future dream. A future dream. A deja vu experience. Now I'm meeting a weird Elvish being and learning about the astral plane versus the mirror dimension. There's so much more I want to tell you guys. I hope you're following me. I hope you find this interesting. Okay. All right, I'm going to pause for a minute and tune into my higher self. Okay, this is the part where I'm going to tell you guys a secret about myself. So, I've always had a very uncomfortable relationship with mirrors for years of my life. And I didn't realize that I didn't look at myself naked in a mirror until I was in college. It's a weird secret, okay? But you know what? It's part of my reality. And I remember being like freaked out, A, because I realized I'd never seen myself naked. And B, why hadn't I ever seen myself naked? The first ever past life reading I ever had done for me, because I didn't really see myself as a psychic person. Well, now I'm doing all kinds of stuff just by my own gifts and talents that I had all along. Anyway, this first psychic reading, this past life reading that I had, I was actually in Belfast, Northern Ireland. And I remember it was over the phone, and she told me about a lifetime where it was in like a Puritan village. And this is all me trying to recall, okay, as best I can remember. And it was a scarlet letter type life. And I got pregnant out of wedlock. And I ended up getting stoned by the villagers as part of my punishment. And the clothes ripped from me. And I felt I never could live outside of shame. I ran away and survived that experience. But I carried this terrible like feeling of shame and guilt. And an ugliness and nakedness, and it just destroyed my soul. That life did. And for years of my life before I got that reading, I actually felt like there was mobs of people that were always pointing at me and telling me how stupid and ugly and every kind of nasty thing in the book that I am for years of my life. Okay. And we're talking, I'm only like 19, okay, and 20, 21, like, all this stuff is building up, okay, to like my early 20s, my college years. And all that mob of invisible people saying those things disappeared. I had one dream where I was looking at my face in a mirror, and there was this terrible like devil that was looking back at me, and that was part of the dream. And after that, there was no more mobs, and I started to develop a new relationship with mirrors. And I wasn't so overwhelmed by them anymore. Now, I've grown so much that I actually was doing this for a period of time, like maybe a year or two of my life on and off. I haven't felt a calling to do it again, but I'd sit in my room in the dark with a candle lit, and I would just sit on the floor with a mirror hanging on the door, and I would look at my face in the dark with a candle, and I would just look at my face in the mirror, looking back at me. And I just do that. And I found it to be the most healing thing I could ever do. I can't explain it, but it was powerfully healing for me. So now all of this is coming back about mirrors and the mirror dimension. And I've had the odd experience in that place. And now I'm healing something of Joe's journey to that Elvish guy, and him defining that as the mirror dimension triggered something. And Joe's healing for me from what had triggered actually helps give me security and in knowing that no matter where I am, no matter what I do, no matter what I experience, I'm always safe. The experience may be difficult, but I'm safe to have that difficult experience. What does that mean to you? You're safe to have a difficult experience. And why does it have to be difficult? So one of the things that Joe did when he was healing me, I asked him if he could just speak the word mirror in my energy field to see what my energetic reaction is to that word, because it was making me very uncomfortable. And so he was speaking the word mirror in order to desensitize my energy field from that word so I could be more empowered to use it and even to work with a new affirmation. I feel strongly that that mirror dimension is extremely important. Extremely, extremely important. I don't know why yet. Why do you think that mirror dimension is important? Why do you think that that would be important for us to know about that, to traverse it, to empower ourselves in that place, to even heal that place? One thing that Joe says about that place is that it's really loud. It's extremely loud. I will say my memories of it, which are just a couple memories, I feel that it's very emotionally amplified. Like my feelings are so much louder. Everything feels amplified in an emotional state for me. And Joe says it's very loud sounding there. And Joe feels the reason why it is loud is because people who get pulled into that place or just find themselves there are often screaming. And so the mirror dimension here, the mirror of our earth plane, is full of chaos and fear and terror. So we have a mirror of our reality that's full of chaos and fear. You don't think that's affecting the balance of the collective consciousness of the human race? As a healer, I'm attracted to finding where the wounds are, to heal the world, not just me or you, or whoever decided to watch my Abbey normal videos that I'm constantly putting out there. I'm here to heal the world, and if I can do that by learning more about this mirror dimension, that's a really big deal. That's like a really big deal. So I've been working with the affirmation that I am safe to explore the mirror dimension. I am safe to have experiences in the mirror dimension. Joe did a journey today. You see, there's a lot of, I feel like I'm going down the river of my experience and there's all these giant boulders in the way and or it's like a pinball machine and it's like there's so many little small details that I want to tell you about. I feel like all the details are important. So Joe did a journey today into just a journey into the mirror dimension, just to see what he would learn, what would come forward about it. Something interesting that came forward was how that dimension is dark, but you can usually see a little bit. And where the light is coming from is yourself. So when you're in that dimension, you shine your light bright. I mean, it's such a cliche, but it's not really. It's freaking not really a cliche to say, I shine my light bright, love and light. I am bright. I am full of love and light. This stuff is powerful. That stuff is really powerful. So we're open to having experiences in the mirror dimension. Joe's had so many, like he will even tell you thousands of experiences in that place, to the point that he had to make it had to stop. He has a lot of videos to talk about that on his YouTube channel. So just check the description for a link to Joe's YouTube channel and you'll find a playlist of him talking about this. But he hasn't really had many experiences with that other mirror dimension for a couple of years. But we're starting to open up together at the same time that there is a calling or a need for us to be exploring this more with our gifts as even a pathway of enlightenment. That maybe this is the next step for the human race, not just to open your third eye, but to actually start traversing other dimensional planes and the mirror dimension. Can you imagine what you're going to learn about yourself by going to that place? and conquering it, conquering your fears of it, finding the light and love within you, and knowing that standing strong in that light and love. So anything that creates a ripple of fear is something that has to be faced. So if I'm afraid of the mirror dimension, then I guess I just shouldn't go there, right? Well, no. This is the perfect opportunity for me to grow and expand what I already know. And I've learned so much. I've already been beaten down by the spirit realm like nobody's business. Almost died from it, like for a year. It sucked. But I learned the power of love. We have to have these experiences in order to become powerful people, in order to understand our true selves. This world, society, isn't giving us access to our true self. It's giving us TV and a cell phone and gaming systems, which is great, but that's not the mirror dimension or the astral plane or your psychic gifts or the ability to talk to elvish beings in the spirit realm or alien beings or your deceased loved ones or even your higher self, which is actually real stuff. It's real stuff, not illusionary stuff. Illusionary stuff is as real as a mirage. So you can build your life around a mirage, or you can actually build your life around real experiences, you know? Okay, so I'm just going to relax for a minute. This video is getting long. So I might actually do a second, like a part 2. Where I'm going to channel the mirror dimension. So, but I'm just going to pause for a minute, okay? Because I'm just going to tune to my higher self. Thank you all so much for following me on this conversation. It really means a lot to me. Okay. And I feel like we're learning something really important together. Really important. And I'm going to prove to all of you how easy it is to say I astral travel and how easy it is to change your life with a simple affirmation. Because I am starting to have more profound experiences. Add it up. I mean, we're just talking like 48 hours of stuff. Profound things are happening in a very short period of time. The real juice of life is happening. It's not that I was playing my, PS4 and I won the game. Like, this is real life energy stuff, Winning the game is cool, but this is freaking real legit cool. It's mind-blowing cool. Anything else, higher self? Anything else for this message? Okay, that's all I'm going to share. Thank you all so much for watching. I will be doing a separate video where I'm going to channel the mirror dimension. That way it gives you something to look forward to. And so that's all I'm going to say for this video, okay? All right. And if it's way in the future and I've already made it and posted the video on the mirror dimension, then just go look in the description. So I'll put a link in there as well, okay? Just go to the description. All right. Have an awesome day, everybody. If any of you are interested in working with me one-on-one for a psychic session, come visit me at my website at abbeynormalswisdomquest.com. I do have 2 other YouTube channels. One is Abbey Psychic Services. The other is Zodiac Energy Reading. So check me out in those places. And then I'm on Patreon as well. I'm doing live streaming out there. If you're interested in joining my Patreon community, visit patreon.com/abbeynormalswisdomquest. Okay, take care.